crazy.
It was like hot outside by us. I was like, I don't need that. And I come down here in the basement. It's like,
So is this the schedule?
So it's weird though. Sometimes like it'll be really warm down here because they have the heat on going crazy. So I'll get ready to be cold because it's the basement. And then in the middle of the night, I'll wake up just dripping in sweat because they have the heater on like 80 or something. Yeah, I don't know. It was doing that during the Bible study. They can hear me, can't they? You're not supposed to hear me, but you are. Hope you enjoy this pre-podcast podcast.
All right, welcome to the Lodge Student Ministry Podcast. It's your host with the most, the one and only Viking pastor, Cody Moorhead. I'm so glad. I'm genuinely happy to be here tonight. Well, there's a couple reasons. One, I'm genuinely happy about the fact that we have done this. Like, it's really cool that we're doing the podcast, and I think it's really cool that we have this ability to do this with students. And so tonight, like, as students are hopping on, we're going to students might be hopping on here, they might be hopping on Instagram, so on and so forth. But we're gonna be talking to anybody who joins us live, trying to answer some questions. But guess what? Guess what, Mark?
What?
Mark, we have a special guest.
Wait, we do?
Jesse.
Wait.
Who's our special guest tonight?
Carver
Our special
Young?
guest is Carver Young.
Hi.
Garena Free Fire's young star, Carver Young, joining us on the podcast tonight. Carver, thanks for joining.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining. I really appreciate that you did that. There's a stink bug on the couch. Why are they everywhere? Have you guys noticed this?
Everywhere.
They are literally everywhere. Like, you cannot go anywhere without having a stink bug pop up somewhere. And the problem is you can't smush them because they smell terrible, right?
Yeah.
I think that's like their whole defense mechanism, right? Is that they're just, annoying.
Oh, they win.
It's like middle schoolers. It's their defense mechanism is how bad they smell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right, Carver? Yeah, middle
Yeah.
schoolers. are
Just
terrible.
kidding. Sort of. Okay, so Carver, we've asked you to come on the podcast tonight, and we want to hop right into it because there's a lot of really cool stuff that we want to get into. But specifically, we wanted to talk to you about what you've been doing in streaming, right? Because there's some really cool stuff that's been happening for you. So can you tell us, you are a video game streamer. What is your tag? Like, what is your thing? Like your like gamer tag that you stream with?
Flame Carver 61.
Flame Carver 61. And where can everybody find you at? Like,
YouTube,
as far as, okay.
Facebook, Twitch.
So people can find you on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, the whole 9 yards. And what game do you stream the most?
Garena Free Fire.
Do you stream other games too?
Sometimes.
What games do you stream other than Garena Free Fire?
I haven't really streamed much in the past. Like this year, I've streamed Warzone like twice.
Warzone's fun. Do you like Warzone?
A little bit, yeah.
It's fun. It's like one of those games. It's like, it's a good game when there's really no other games to play, because we just played it so much. Your dad and I went through this thing where we like played it all the time.
I know.
It was a lot. You played with us a couple times?
A little bit, yeah.
So explain Free Fire. If I've never heard of Free Fire before, and I'm trying to play it, how would you explain it to people?
I'd explain it more like if you've played Fortnite and you've played PUBG, it's like an in-between, kind of. Mm-hmm. Like, PUBG doesn't have anything, like, you can't build anything or do anything.
Yeah.
But with, in Fortnite you can build, but Free Fire's kind of a middle. It's a battle royale. It's got 50 players, so the games are a lot quicker.
Okay.
And it's got like glue walls, so you can still build like walls, so you're not just kind of stuck all out in the open, but...
Okay.
It's not as crazy, like fast-paced building style as Fortnite, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
So the building is not necessarily as important as it is in Fortnite.
No, it's not.
So, but it's more like PUBG if you added the element of like what were they, like the concussive grenades in Fortnite where you threw them and it like pushed people back, kind of like that. Yeah. It's like a mixture. So like this is like, people who are in the United States might not know Free Fire because it's not as big in the United States as it is in other places. But talk about, like, I know your stream, you have thousands of people who watch your stream. What's your most watched video right now?
On what platform?
Any of them.
On Facebook, it's like 53K.
Okay.
And I think my biggest one on YouTube is almost 2K.
Okay, so almost 2K. So like, talk about that, because YouTube's hard to stream on, right? Like YouTube's a harder market. So to have 2,000 on YouTube is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, so what area of the world is your primary audience from?
My biggest audience is from Jamaica at the moment.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And like, just for anybody who's watching right now or who's listening to this on the replay, you and your dad both stream Garena Free Fire, right?
Yeah.
And your dad has had a lot of success streaming too. And you guys get to kind of do it together, right? Like when you do tournaments and stuff, you guys get to stream together. Is that cool?
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to do it with your dad, right? It's a cool way for you to like connect with your dad. What's something special that like you appreciate about streaming with your dad?
Just all the fun moments we get to make.
Yeah. Yeah. So like how does your dad make that fun since he's so old? You know what I mean? That's right, I said it. And I'm not taking it back. How, like, so, you know, cuz he's getting up there in years. Does he have to use a walker yet?
No.
Okay. Roasted. So how does an old man with arthritis play Free Fire? Garena Free Fire. How is he physically able to do that? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. He bought this really weird hand thing that gives him like this insane advantage over like every other player in the game.
Yeah,
It's like the controller, right?
Yeah, like he literally just moves his hand around to like move him.
Like it says it's the shape of his hand, right?
Yeah.
I saw that the other day when I was over at the house. I was like, "What?" I was like, "What is that?" He's like, "It's a controller." I'm like, "What?"
It is so cool. It really is cool.
It's crazy.
Before your dad started streaming all the time, which how long have you guys been streaming? Because you actually got more followers quicker than he did, right?
Yes, at
Like,
the start of it. And
yeah,
then
at the start
I
of it.
slowed down and he spiked through.
I know. He tells me all the time.
I know. Same here.
I know, right? It's like every dad has to just one up their sons, like, right? Like, so they just have to let us know, like, okay, we still got it, and we can still beat you. So like when you started, what was the first video that really like took off for you?
Well, the first video that really took off was like 2 weeks into waking up at 5:30 in the morning, every morning, and streaming from like 6 to 8:30.
Mm-hmm.
Which that early, it's hard to be like excited over a video game.
Yeah, it
like
is.
because you're like half asleep.
Mm-hmm.
But like I did that for 2 weeks before I even 2 weeks straight every day, and then it finally took off. I had one video on a Sunday morning. I had almost 1,000 people watching for my first video.
That's awesome.
For like 2 hours straight.
Wow. Listen, why don't I get those views on my Instagram live? Like I try so hard. Just guess I'm not as cool as you. So okay, so like talk about that, because I really don't think that people realize how much real work goes into it. So like how much, like it's a business, right? Like you guys treat it like a business. So it's like can you tell me a little bit more about that? Like what's your schedule like now? Like when you're streaming, when you're not, so on and so forth. Like what does that look like?
My schedule right now has been 8:30 to like 11. Mm-hmm. But like since I'm homeschooled, if I have if I have a big audience watching at the time, I usually stream till 12, maybe even 1 o'clock some nights. But like when I'm not doing that, I'm usually like working on videos all day or like working on stuff for the stream, because like you can't play around when you're doing it. It's basically a job.
That makes sense. Yeah. So how like you've had to like give up other things to do this. Like this is like really important. So like what are some things that you enjoyed doing? Cuz like I know you like video games, period. Like I like video games, period. But what are some things that you've had to give up that really were fun, but you chose to give up to stream? You know what I mean? Like, what are some video games that you wish you could play more of, but you really just don't have time because you're just streaming all the time?
Well, I used to play a lot of Minecraft. We had a realm that I was playing on with like a bunch of friends, like every night at like around 8 to like 10:30.
Yeah.
I gave up that for streaming, and my friends that used to live in Florida, we used to play Fortnite like because that's like the only game they still play.
Yeah.
We used to play that like all the time. I've been able to play that as much with them because I've been streaming Green and Free Fire every night.
Yeah. But like also there's some really cool stuff too that okay, so Garena has like I don't like so you're the number one youth, correct?
Yeah.
Are you the number one youth that is
Well, the youngest.
okay. So you're the youngest streamer they have.
Yeah, in North America.
In North America. Okay, and you're the biggest in North America, right? The youngest and the biggest. Not biggest numbers wise, but like the biggest like teenager that's streaming in North America, right?
Not the biggest teenager.
Okay, so
I'm up there, but I'm not the biggest.
Okay, gotcha. But you're on their influencer tier, right?
Yeah.
So what does that mean? What does that mean? Can you tell us what that means?
That means I don't work for Green or Free Fire, but I work with them to help them promote the game in like North America.
Yeah.
A lot of people think you work like for them, but it's more of like I work with them to help promote their game and help just tell people about it and help grow it.
Yeah. Mark, what are some video games you like to play?
I haven't
with
really,
people.
The Warzone.
When you're playing. I know you haven't played for a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Warzone is one that I have. I have a few buddies from college that we have a Minecraft realm as well that we spend like $8 a month.
Oh my
just
gosh.
holding on. I haven't played that in like
can I just tell
months,
you, Mark was like, play Minecraft with me. As I bought Minecraft, one, to play with Caleb Larson, who's awesome. So Caleb, if you're listening, or Harley or Justin, I got Minecraft to play with Caleb Larson. And Mark was like, yeah, no, you could play with me. And so he was like, I'm like, I really don't get it.
It's a nostalgia thing, really.
And I'm like, I just don't understand. I get it, but I don't know why it's fun. So I'm like, please tell me. And then Mark invites me to this room, or what world realm?
Realm, probably.
Realm?
Well, that's
how about universe? Because that's how big it was. I'm telling you, how many hours do you think you spent building this thing? There's no shame in it.
Quite
There's
a
no
bit.
shame.
I don't know. I couldn't put a number on it. I don't know which one I showed you. I've had countless worlds. What used to bother me, so like on PlayStation when I played, you couldn't play in a realm, so like you had to wait for the one person to get on to play anything. So we would have like a group of 5 of us that would play, and then the one person who would have the world would never get on. So somebody else would have to start another world. So they were like 5 different worlds that we were cycling through because so many people would just not play for a while. So I had like built up all this progress, and then the person just stopped playing, and I was a little salty about that.
That's hilarious.
That made me so mad. So once they put the realms on PlayStation, I bought it so that my friends and I could play it and didn't have to worry about somebody like doing that.
So, okay, so when it comes to your streaming, right, and what you're doing, when it comes to your streaming and what you're doing, you are scheduling, like, this is basically a job, right? Like, because it's not just that they're like, you're an influencer, but they're sending you like care packages and fun stuff, right? So like, what are some of the things that they've sent you?
They've sent me a bunch of in-game stuff. Like I get 50 room cards to play with my followers every month, so I can make rooms just to play with them. So that's fun. And I get diamonds, which I can also give away. And I do a bunch of giveaways so I can get back to the followers and
yeah, that's awesome. So how many diamonds? Those are basically like V-Bucks, right? If we were talking like Fortnite to Free Fire. I'm trying to put this in terms like I can understand because I've played a little bit of Free Fire, but I'm more familiar with Fortnite. Not now, since they just updated the map for the 50,000th time. Okay, but so it's like V-Bucks, right? And you have like all these customizations, right? But the customizations do they actually do something in Free Fire? So like the different costumes have different things, right?
Yeah. Different characters have different abilities. Different gun skins have different abilities to help the guns.
That is awesome. So where can they find, like, if I'm watching right now, okay, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, I want to stream Garena Free Fire, or I want to play this game with you. How would I go about doing that? Where do they find it? Like do they find it on the App Store, Google Play?
App Store, Google Play.
Okay, so can they play it on Xbox?
No, it's only a mobile game.
Okay, so it's a mobile game, but what if you have a gaming PC?
You have to use an emulator like BlueStacks LD Player 4. There's a bunch you can find.
Gotcha.
Or like you can download mobile games but play it on your PC.
That's pretty awesome. So like you do both, right?
Yes.
You play it on tablet,
Yeah.
and you play it on PC. But I was watching your stream. It's pretty cool because you've got your face, right? So you can see your face, but then you've also got the overhead camera so that they can see your hands playing the game, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So like, how does that work? How do you manage, like, how do you do all this stuff? Because you've got to you basically have to play video games and be a video producer all at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Because you've got like stings and you've got like all this stuff that goes with it. So how do talk me through that? Like, what's a typical gameplay session look like for you? Like if you've like your prep, like going into it, like you have like flame carver stings, you have graphics, you have like overlays, like you have all this stuff, right? What do you use? You use like what, OBS Streamlabs, right?
Yes, OBS.
Okay, so like you use like OBS Streamlabs. So you've got these three. Basically you've got two cameras, right?
Yeah.
So you've got one on your face and one on your hands, and you're seeing the video game. So there's all these like overlays they've got. So like, how do you manage all that? Because that's a ton of tech, right?
Yeah.
So how do you do that? Like when you're streaming?
I'm working off one screen at the moment.
Okay.
I'm trying to get a second one hooked up because that makes it much easier.
Yeah.
But off of one screen, I have basically just the gameplay footage coming in, and then I have two cameras, which I just also have running in. Yeah. Two cameras sometimes has difficulties, but it works most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, trust me, we know because we got this whole set up, so we know how like the multi-camera thing works. But so when people watch, because this is what I've always been like, this is what has always amazed me that streamers can do that I've never been able to do. One, because I'm just not very good at video games. But two, okay, like how do streamers respond to comments while they're playing and still focusing on the game and not get killed in the game?
It really depends on your the why you're playing the game and what for you're playing the game.
Yeah.
Like I'm not playing the game to be good at it. I'm playing to entertain. So like if I die, I don't care.
Yeah, okay.
Like if I read a comment and die, oh well, it's a game.
Yeah, basically you get to yell at the person, like, you killed me, you got me killed, right? Like,
yeah.
So what are some of those things that you do to like engage the audience?
You got to keep the stream fresh. Like I try to have new content every night.
Yeah.
Like either some kind of funny like video I put in, or like some kind of overlay that I put on screen.
Yeah.
Just something that it's not like you're coming back to the same stream every night to watch the same thing. Yeah. You're coming back for like a show. Like you're here to be entertained, not just to watch me play a video game.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. So like in that aspect, you pretty much have to like, you have to prepare for your, how long do you think it takes? Like how long would you say it takes for you to prepare for your stream?
Every night, if I'm trying to keep it fresh, usually like building all this stuff, it's not really, that doesn't take as long. It's usually coming up with the ideas to keep it fresh. Yeah. Like I can get all this stuff done hour and a half. It's more of like me coming up with the ideas and then trying to put them into use. So it makes it difficult. That makes sense.
So, okay. So how much time do you spend like a week, do you think? Like in a whole week, and like Monday through Sunday, like how much time do you spend streaming and like preparing for the stream and getting ready for it?
Well, I stream 4 hours a day.
Okay. So right off the bat, you're at 28 hours, right? That's insane. That's a 28-hour a week job, right? Because like you do it every single day.
Yeah,
even if you don't want to, right? Yeah. Like you like, okay, I just got to do this, right? So you got to be on 28 hours. There's some adults who don't even have 28-hour week jobs right now, right? Like so 28 hours a week. What else do you do like prepping to go into it?
I have usually try to edit at least 2 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 channels. So
then there's another 14 hours. So you're at 42 hours right now off the bat. This is a full-time job, right? Like, I don't think people realize when people talk about streamers, how much work really goes into it. And they just think like, oh, we're playing this game. It's fun. It's a video game. But like, you really, really work hard at this, dude. Like, that's impressive. So what else? So you're 2 hours or so editing videos, right? What else?
30 minutes to an hour of like I said, keeping it fresh, like getting new content for the stream usually.
Yeah.
That's probably probably wraps up everything I do.
What do you think is like the most challenging part of that, like that process and being a streamer?
Just staying motivated.
Yeah,
Because there's so many other things that go through my head when I'm doing this. Like, I could be doing this or this, but yet I'm just sitting here working on this same video for like 2 hours straight.
Exactly. Right. So there's a level of like dedication that is really important. Like there's a level that is like super important with all this, that you have to be dedicated and you have to push through the fatigue of doing something every single day. Even though, I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's fun. Like it's fun, but like you have to push through that fatigue and to a place where like you're motivated to do this every day. Like, I mean, I know that like this is probably not super relatable for a lot of teenagers, because a lot of teenagers just like they do whatever they want to do, right? So I think it's really impressive to me that you've made a decision that you're going to do this and that like this is important to you. So can we shift gears a little bit? Because I want to talk about how your faith has an impact in like your video games, right? And like what's important in these, like as you're doing this. So I know from talking with your dad, like you guys are doing this on purpose, like not just so that you can be fun and like, because I mean the truth is you don't make that much money off of it, right?
No,
like yeah, right. So like people think like streamers, oh, they stream and they do all this stuff, they must make, they're like influencers, whatever. But like the truth is you really don't make.
I've made 3 cents.
Yeah. So, but what you're doing, what you're really building is bigger than that. So you talk about how your faith intersects with like streaming. Like talk about that a little bit. Like what's the purpose like behind you streaming when you're talking about your faith in Jesus?
So we have a Discord channel and like our live chat, and we have these rules, and we just want it to be like a friendly place that anybody can come. That's not like rude or mean. Like you don't want to log on one day and like leave like upset or like, well, that was a terrible experience. Like we want you to come and we want you to just have fun, and like we don't want you to be like somebody to bully you or like be mean to you. We just want you to come, have fun, and then leave it happy or excited, not leave in a bad mood.
Yeah. That's awesome. That is so awesome. So that's just so cool. So like you guys use that. It's not just like, oh, this is a fun place. There's an intentional piece to that too, right? Like that you guys are very intentional that your faith is at the forefront, because you have people of all different kinds of faith too that are doing this with you, right?
Yeah.
So like talk about that a little. Like because you have all sorts of different countries, all sorts of different belief systems. What are some of the different like belief systems that people have? Like what are some of the other religions of people who are watching you?
Well, like I don't like there's a few, but like a lot of it is just like their own opinions, and like they've all kind of learned like through our Discord. Like we have people that are just like, they read the rules. Like if somebody's messing around in Discord or like doing something, like you'll have like 5 different people that like don't even know each other, like all tell them like, you're not supposed to do this, you're gonna get muted or you're gonna get warned, or like like they've all kind of accepted it, and like they've all just kind of learned, and they've all been like, they've all just had peace with it basically.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool, man. Well, I just love it, man. It's just so cool. I think like what you guys are doing is so stinking cool. And I think it's really neat. What would you say to people who are interested in getting into streaming? Like what advice would you give them? Like, are there things that you would do different now? Or, you know, are there things that you wish you would have done different, like as you were going? What are there tips and tricks you could give people? Like, what are some things that they could do to be successful?
A few things is you have to have the right motivation. Like you can't start streaming for 3 weeks and then be like, oh, I've gained 1 follower, I'm just not going to do this. Like I gained 100 followers in 3 months. And on my YouTube, I had 16 followers from August till January. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started picking up. But I was still streaming every night, still uploading the same amount of content. But I was on 16 followers on YouTube till January. Mm. So I did like 5 months of the same thing for 16 followers.
So cool, man. That is so, like, it's so tough because I don't think that it's hard for teenagers who are your age to comprehend how much work it takes to really build something, right? A lot of people want that immediate, instant gratification of like, it's just done. It's happened, right? Like Mark and I, we talked about this, right? Like you and I have talked about this a lot. Like it's tough because sometimes you just have to grind even when you don't feel like it. So Mark, you're in a position like that right now in the world, right? As you're growing, like how do you relate to that story?
I mean, like for example, I do foam manufacturing at work, and so like we're doing silkscreen, and like right now we're struggling to keep up with work, and like there's a lot of days where I'm just stressed and frustrated, but like the whole point is we just got to keep working. You just got to keep going. When my manager, he said something I thought it was pretty smart. He's like, the world's on fire. You just got to keep putting out as many as you can. Like just focus on one fire at a time and take care of this, take care of that, take care of this. Because otherwise you get overwhelmed because there's so much you've got to do. Like you've got so many things to do, but you're working one thing at a time. You're like, okay, I'm going to get this taken care of at this point because that's what I've planned on doing. So, I mean, yeah, that's basically where I'm at. I'm just like, yep, just keep on working. Just had a wise man tell me sometimes you just got to put your head down and roll up your sleeves. And so, I mean, sometimes like you feel rough in life, you just got to keep on going.
Yeah. So like, I think that's a really good thing. So this whole series we've been talking in youth about habits, right? And how like we have to make time for the things that are a priority to us. And like I called you up on stage because like Garena sent you the stinking coolest thing ever, right? They sent you this like boxer pack. So you got like boxing gloves. What else did you get? Like what all was in there?
Robe.
Right?
Just boxing gloves and
boxing gloves and a robe. And what else? They've sent you other stuff too.
I've gotten a camera.
Yeah.
It was a nice camera. And then
like a 4K streaming camera, right? Like really, Logic, like that's not a cheap camera. It was awesome. So what else? Like if they sent you anything else, they've sent you like preview stuff, right?
A little bit, not much else like in real life, but a lot of in-game stuff.
Yeah. So how many diamonds do you think they've sent you in game?
Like worth all the stuff, at least over close to 50K.
Yeah,
diamonds.
That's a lot. So how much is that in real money?
I have no idea.
It's a lot. How much? Like, what's the lowest pack you can get? Let's do that math right now. We can figure this out. Like,
the lowest I think I've gotten is probably
like if you went to the store and bought them, how much would the lowest pack be? You could buy what? 50.
You could buy 100. It's like 100 diamonds for $1, basically.
Okay, so let's do that math right now. I gotta figure this out.
$500.
So you can buy 100, right? So
I think